Yeah. Okay. So, okay. All right. So, wow, there's 60 people in your class. Okay. So that was the first part. Glenn Johnson, DC. All right. He got his. Wow. He must be an older guy then.
Yeah.
If he, this is all his credentials. Okay. Um, I'm pretty sure he's not going to quiz you on that. So and then lectures are Tuesdays and Thursdays. Assigned labs are Tuesday or Thursday. Um, office hours are drop in. Dates, times. Okay, signing in and out. There's your email. Okay, do not email through Canvas. Interesting. All right. Texts, holes, essentials of human anatomy, and physiology 15th edition. Shire Butler Lewis. Lab manuals in the bookstore. Grades are listed in the syllabus. Oh, your lectures are Scantron, so they're multiple choice. Lab is 25%. Um, weekly quizzes identification, matching and true false. Two practicum exams based on identification. Okay. All right. So these are the way it will connect. This 10%, that's the McGraw-Hill online program. Okay. Lecture is mostly physiology, so that's how the body works. Lab is mostly anatomy. Um, maximum absences, 4 lectures and or 2 labs. Students are added or dropped to the courses of roster only, the lab roster only. Sign-in sheet every lab and lecture. One lab crossover is allowed. Okay, yeah. So he allows you to record. That's nice, as long as it's not a video recording. Know the college drop dates, the syllabus acknowledgement, the Canvas. Okay. Did you take a syllabus quiz already, or did you um have a safety quiz or something?
No, I think in class he was saying more that um that like he actually just like sent out like a paper that we have to like print it, and then we just have to sign it and then turn it in. Um
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Okay, so that's that part. And he gave you the calendar. He gave you the dates blocked in. This is fall semester fall semester dates. Um Doesn't give you the drop dates on this page, but he gives you the calendar here. And then here's your schedule. So we're doing intro terminology. So we're doing a lot of intro terminology. That's what I kind of thought, that it was intro terminology. And then we're going to talk about enzymes next week. So, okay. Take all quizzes and exams in the Connect modules. Okay. So the quizzes and the exams are through Connect? Is that what he's saying? Or is he talking about there's practice quizzes there?
Yeah, I think yeah, he was saying that it's more like I guess like to practice online because then like yesterday like after class like I told him if like the like quizzes and exams like if they were like going to be online or in person
Mhm.
and yeah he said they were going to be in person.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hmm. This is your commitment, but it may take a family effort and stay healthy. In other words, don't get sick and don't not sleep and not eat. Like this is not okay. All right. Okay. So that's that part. What else do you want me to see? Okay, so this is our first PowerPoint introduction to anatomy and physiology. Okay. Okay, so this looking familiar already. So go ahead, you can scroll up so we can see the full slide. Okay, so this is our microstructure. So we start with the atom. Remember, I said this might be about the chemistry of it. We have the atom, two atoms or more come together and make a molecule. More molecules come together and make a macromolecule. And then the macromolecules make cells. Cells of a specific type make tissues. And then tissues come together to make organs. Organs are made up of organ systems. Organs make up organ systems, and organ systems make up the organism, whatever organism we're talking about. So that's something that we've seen before. And this is our chain of increasing complexity here. Okay. Homeostasis. Okay, so this is homeostasis is probably your first big term. It's a self-regulating process by which an organism tends to maintain stability while adjusting to conditions that are best for its survival. So it's basically not necessarily a static state that you're not moving or you're not changing into, but it's a way of maintaining stability inside. So when it gets too hot and your body overheats, then your body starts to sweat as a thermoregulatory way, and your sweat, you secrete toxins, and that it cools on your skin, and when it cools on your skin, you cool off. There's all kinds of processes going on there. He's comparing that to um, a thermostat in your house. And we talked about this. Um, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. We talked about this in your first lecture also, that the you have the room temperature drops to 67 or whatever. The thermostat activates the furnace. Then, okay, I don't see um the whole thing. I only see part of. So then your furnace, um it comes on, it's activated, and it starts blowing out air. The temperature rises um to whatever you set it at. So if you set the thermostat at 68 or you set it at 70, whatever um the temperature is, when it falls to that, the thermostat will activate that, and then it will act to maintain that constant temperature, whatever it is. Same thing if it's hotter or lower. Here it's talking about lower, so it'd be blowing heat. But if it were higher, like if you set it at 67, it goes up to 68, then the thermostat could activate your aircon and blow air until the temperature drops so that it stays at a constant, and your body does something similar. Okay. Okay. So now we have a cell, and this is the inside of your cell. So we have, and this is a blood vessel that we're looking at apparently. So we've got the intracellular fluid. They've got the interstitial fluid between the two walls of the vessel. You've got blood plasma is in there. And remember, plasma is part of where you have your platelets, your clotting factors. I'm not sure if he got into that yet. But you have the extracellular fluid, the fluid outside of the cell itself. Okay, let's scroll up and see what else he showed you. Oh, okay, it's just a cut of the, okay. It's just a cut of the blood vessel. And then here we have, I told you we would probably have the organ systems. Here they are. Here's all 11 organ systems. So the respiratory, the urinary, the reproductive, the integumentary, the skeletal, the muscular, the respiratory, and the reproductive, right? There's 11 systems altogether. And they're the ones at the bottom. the lymphatic, the cardiovascular, the endocrine, and the nervous system. And then here's the systems again with some of their major structures. So you have the respiratory has the nose, the mouth, the sinus, pharynx, the larynx, the trachea, the bronchia, and the lungs. The reproductive system has the ovary, the ureter, the the uterus, I should say, the vagina and the testes, or the testes, and the penis, if you're a male. Um, Muscular is the muscles and the tendons. Skeletals are the bones and the ligaments. The endocrine system is the hypothalamus, pituitary, the pineal gland, the thyroid, the ovaries, the testes, the adrenals, the pancreas, and the thymus. And then you have the digestive system that contains the salivary gland, the mouth, the teeth, the tongue, the oropharynx, the esophagus, the stomach, the pancreas, the liver, the gallbladder, the small intestine, the large intestine, the rectum, and the anus. And then you've got your other systems, the urinary, the kidney, the ureter, not the uterus, but the ureter, the urinary bladder, and the urethra. The nervous system is the brain stem, the spinal cord, and the peripheral nerves. The immune system is the skin, the leukocytes, the macrophages, and the lymphocytes. The cardiovascular is the heart and the vessels, and the integumentary system is the skin, the fascia, the connective tissue, the associated glands, the hair and the nails, and the associated nerves underneath the skin. So those are the structures of the uh, integumentary system. Okay. What else do we have?
And then I think like that was it for the lecture.
Okay.
Um, and then for the lab, yeah, we actually like went over the like anatomical
Oh, okay.
terminology.
Okay. I don't see anything on here yet.
Yeah, he said that he was going to post the slides, but I don't think he has.
Oh, he hasn't posted them yet. Maybe maybe today he'll post them.
Yeah.
But do you have an assignment for Connect yet?
Well, I have to check.
Okay.
I'll come back. I'm gonna go get the book.
Okay. Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, so it already came back. So I do have the code, but I don't think the professor has like.
Oh, set up the, okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's not a problem. I just was wondering, let me see if I can, and I read this online. I probably can. Let me see if I can. Oh, it's only preview. Okay. Uh, Burrow Novella. Okay. I wonder if that's, I wonder if McGraw Hill has the first. Let's see. Usually you can get, let me see if I have it here. Sometimes I give you a preview of the, there's a different one. This is the, okay, let's see if I have, table, okay, that's giving you, giving us the table of contents, the levels of organization, the, hmm, see if that gets you, it does. Okay, let's see if I can come up with this one here. See if this one will. Oh no, this is a syllabus question. Okay. Um, well, do you have any material or do you want to use the materials that we, because it doesn't look like he's posted anything else yet, does it?
Yeah, so I actually like did take some pictures of like what we were like doing for the lab. So I'll send them to you.
Okay. Okay. A couple minutes to do that. Um, maybe here. Okay. If this loads fast. Mm, let's see if it's in the book. Let me see what you have here. Do you have anything that you? No, I don't see anything yet. Let me look for. Hmm, okay, don't see anything yet. Um, let's see. All right. Can I find the first set? Okay, so I have this. What else did they get? Station. We have the
Okay, I already sent you an email with like the like work that we did for the lab and also the like notes that I took yesterday.
okay. Oh, I'm looking at this is okay. This looks like can I download that? Is that possible? Read sample check, and then I can. Okay, so there's a sample available, but I don't know how many pages are in there. I should be able to. Oh, this is the 16th edition. That's why. Because it's, I wonder if they have the 15th if I look. Interesting. Okay. Um, but let me, before I do that, let me go to the email. Oh, here we are. I see this. Okay. So let me download that. Use a mannequin to locate the following organs. Um, be able to state to which body cavity they belong and to which organ system they belong. You should also be familiar with the general functions of all the organ systems. Okay. Okay, let me download this. Let me download it so we can work on that. And then of course, the terms of directional and the body cavities, which we've been going over. So this is the stuff that we worked on. And then we did the labeling. Okay, so you got a chance to practice proximal and distal and the planes. So that's good news. Okay, so we can look at, I'm downloading the pieces and you have all this already. And then the organ system functions are there. And then the organ systems are listed. So you have your cardiovascular or your, so yeah, okay. Your circulatory system. And then here, okay. So basically, we're looking at, let me go back to the plural. I'm looking at this. Let me share the screen here. The only thing that I have a small comment on is this here. So you have um you're doing the pleural cavity. So you have the abdominal pelvic cavity, the pelvic cavity, the pericardial cavity, the pleural cavity. This is part of the thoracic cavity here. I'm not sure what this um but it looks like it was trying to show you a picture. Here's the heart. This is like the sternum in here. And the ribs are right here. This is part of the thoracic cavity. Um,
I don't think I can see your screen.
oh, really? Okay. Let me try again. Let's see if, how about now?
Okay, I can see it now.
So, yeah, so he has the cranial cavity, the vertebral or the dorsal cavity, the thoracic, the abdominal, and the pelvic. Um, I don't know. You put superior here, and it's superior to the plural, but I'm not sure that's what he's looking for. Did he tell you that's what it was?
Um,
Because I think let me show you why. Because here, did he tell you that? Or were you doing that in the lab?
yeah, we were doing that on the lab.
Because that's the only one that I'm suspicious of. Um, so there's 8 body cavities. Let me put this on the screen. And I sent this to you in the summary from yesterday. But I think it lists the cavities for you, if I remember. Let me move this out of the way. Let me get some of this because I've got a lot of stuff. Okay. Yeah. Um, here's there's your levels of organization. So there's our thing. There's our basic functions. There's the systems. There they are. And there's the major organs in the systems for you. So that's listed. But there's 4 primary tissues. They're listed. And then we have the systems here. And then we have the planes, the body, which you have listed. And then you have the body cavities, the ventral body cavity, the dorsal cavity. I think that this piece that you were pointing at um, is probably part of the because it wasn't thoracic, it's pointing more at the upper structure. I'm wondering if he's pointing at the ventral cavity itself. We don't have a superior, but you do have a vertebral, um, or this would be like it is the superior, but it's part of the thoracic, so maybe it is. Maybe that's it, but it said cavity. So if that's what was there, then I would use that. But this is a better picture of that. Here's the superior, and then you have the pleural below that, and the pericardial within the mediastinum. So the superior cavity, the vertebral cavity, the cranial cavity, and these are all the cavities. Um, but other than that, yeah, your lab looks good. The superior cavity. The other thing is watch your spelling. I'm not sure that he's super strict about that, but superior, Superior. But otherwise, yeah, the work you did looks really good. But these are the cavities that are there. So there's 8 body cavities that you are going over. So that's there for you as well. Okay? Just to um, remind you that that was there. Let me go back to the lab. How are you doing with the functions?
So I feel like for some of them, like I was getting them correct, and then for like other parts, like I was getting them wrong.
Okay, so maybe we should, let me look at my downloads here. Um, downloads. Here we go. There we are. Let me look at, I think it was this one here. So if I look at this page, and I said, let me share the screen. Actually, let me see if I can. I wonder if it'll let me shrink or move that. Will it? Yeah, it'll let me move this out of the way. So let me move that screenshot. And then if I bring up the, I'm arranging something here on my screen. Let me see if I can arrange this so I can snap it to the side of the, there, that worked. Now let's see if I can do, where is it? Here. Share screen. Let me see if I can double share it and see if that works. I want to see both of them at the same time, but can you see both the
Um,
screenshot and the,
no, I only see so where it says the image below at the right
oh,
property.
you only see the cavities. Okay, that's what I was afraid of. I was trying to see if I could get both of them on the same uh screen, which I should be able to do. Hang on. Let me see if I can, because I can see it on mine, but it's like I wonder if it's because it's in the same, it's in a different tab than the other one. And I really want to, okay, heart, gallbladder, aorta, pink. Let me see if I can bring it up to okay, here. Let me do this. Let me move it over here. Okay. Because okay, so let me move the heart, gallbladder. Let me do something here. So let me go and do this. Let me make a table and do that. So I can do structure. And then I can do system. And then I could do, actually, I'm going to insert a line. Insert column, right. I'm going to do cavity, right? So basically, if you do heart, insert Roman. And then I do um no, make this narrower than it is. There we go. So for example, if I set up a Google Doc, let me show you, with the same thing that's on your worksheet, I think that would be helpful. So we have like, there's going to be the system. There are 11 systems and there are 8 body cavities. Okay. So the heart is part of the, you have, and remember the systems, let me do this for you also. Let me list under here, let me list them. So there's integumentary, muscular, skeletal, oops, skeletal, nervous, endocrine, circulatory, urinary, limbic, or lymphatic. I think I spelled it wrong. Is it limbic? Maybe it is. Um, respiratory, digestive, and reproductive. And it should be 11 systems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, there's 11 systems here. And then the cavities are going to be the ones that we saw on the other. So there's going to be the cranial, the vertebral, the superior, the cavities I don't have memorized. So let me look. Hold on. The thoracic, the pleural, so give me a second. The thoracic cavity. So you got the pericardial cavity, the pleural cavity. Okay, so the the pericardial cavity, the thoracic cavity. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The let me look at your notes to see what he gave you. But I have the abdominal, pelvic cavity, the pelvic cavity, and there's one more missing. And I forgot the plural. I forgot the plural cavity. So, yeah, and there's the plural cavity here. Let me put it before the plural cavity. That way, you'll have them all listed. And then you can put it, let me get, let me fix this up. Structure and cavity practice. Okay, right here. And I'll share this with you so you can look at it. There we go. Okay, so now, um, let me share the screen here. And let me bring it up so the first structure, this goes over the anatomical, oops, thought I was sharing the screen and I'm not. This goes over this goes over the cavities. There they are. Okay. The cranial cavity, the spinal cavity, or the vertebral cavity, the thoracic cavity, the abdominal pelvic cavity. So and this tells you which ones. So you've got the cranial, the vertebral or the spinal. You've got the pleural cavities, the mediastinum, which is not a cavity usually in itself, although it it's not a specific cavity, but it's part of the thoracic. And then you have the pericardial cavity, which is where the heart is. So the heart is part of the pericardial cavity. And then you have the stomach, the small intestine, the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the spleen, and the colon are all in the abdominal cavity. And then the pelvic cavity is the bladder, the lower colon, and the reproductive organs. So, as far as the systems that this goes in, let me go to the systems here. The systems are back up here somewhere. So yeah, so here's the systems. The cardiovascular system is contains the heart. So this is also the circulatory system. That's this system here. So let me change this. So like for this one, it would be, let me go back to here. So for example, let me share the screen. This, let me change this to cardiovascular because you're using the other term. So this would be part of the cardiovascular system, and it would be in the pericardial cavity. Pericardial cavity. The gallbladder is, we just saw it, it's part of the abdominal cavity. Um, or if you want to say the abdominal pelvic, but it's actually just part of the abdominal part of it, the upper portion, and then um I believe the gallbladder is um part of the digestive system, because I think it helps you to um digest fats, if I remember correctly. Um, yeah, it's the gallbladder is part of your digestive system. So this would be your digestive system. So here, let me, it's really hard for me to share the screen because I have to go back and forth to your notes. What I can do, let me do this. What I'll do is I'll take a picture of the, is it this screenshot? Yeah, I think it is. Let me move this down. Um, yeah, let me move this. Let me take a picture of this one so I can lymphatic. Okay, I called it the limbic system, but I should change that too. Okay, let me uh change that so I can, let me take a picture of this on my phone so that I can type with it on the other screen, because I can't really see it if I think that'll do. I think that'll be okay. Let me see if I can read that. Let's see. That's good enough. So we have, okay. Let me put up the screen here so I can, let me change this to, lymphatic, because that's what you're using here. There we go. Lymphatic or immune respite. So then the next thing he asked you was, the next one on the list was the aorta. This is the largest artery that you have. So if I look at that, I can say that it's So here's a picture of the so the aorta, here's a picture of it. Let me make sure I'm sharing screen. Yeah, okay. So the aorta starts in the lower left chamber of your heart and it extends toward your head. The aorta passes through your chest and the abdominal cavities and ends at your pelvis. So that's considered the abdominal cavity. And the body system is part of the circulatory system. So here we have, this would be part of the circulatory or the cardiovascular system. And again, this is part of the abdominal cavity. The next thing that it asks for, oops, let me undo that because I hit the wrong thing. The next thing that we want is after the aorta, we have the pancreas, the lungs, and the small intestine. So here we have the pancreas. The pancreas, if I go to this thing here, and I go to the pancreas is in the abdomen again. It's in the abdominal cavity. It's one of your abdominal organs. And it's on behind the so it's located between your small intestine and your spleen. So, but it's in the upper abdomen. And then if I look at here, I have and this is what the pancreas does is it helps. It's part of a couple of systems. It has a role in the digestive system. It also has a role in the endocrine system. So it has a role in both of those systems. It's in the abdominal cavity. So because the pancreas secretes digestive organ juices, but it also secretes insulin, which is a hormone makes it part of the endocrine system. Um, so here, the next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna insert another row in our list. This is hold on, I messed this up. So we have this is gonna be, let's see, after the pancreas, we have the lungs, the small intestine. So the lungs, oops, the lungs are going to be part of the cardiovascular system. And they're part of the pleural, they're in the pleural cavities. Um, which is part of the thoracic um, cavity as well. But this is the most specific cavity um, that they're involved in. That's like the most specific one. Then you have, after the lungs, we have the small intestine and the trachea. So the small intestine, this, so if you look at the small intestine, um, you're gonna say it's the abdominal cavity. Um, and then it's part of the digestive system. So this is going to be the digestive system, and it's going to be part of the um, abdominal cavity. It's part of those organs that are in the the abdominal. Oops. Let me go back because that's not where I wanted to put it. Then you have the next question was the trachea and the large intestine. So the trachea, which is the trachea. So if I go and I look at that, I have so um, the trachea is in the thoracic cavity. Um, it doesn't have a cavity of its own. It's So the thoracic cavity has your heart, your lungs, your esophagus, your trachea, and your thymus. Your heart, remember, is in a cavity of its own called the pericardial. The lungs are in the pleural cavity. But the most specific cavity that your um, trachea is in your thoracic cavity, and it's part of the respiratory system. So it's part of the respiratory system. So here, this is part of the respiratory system, and it's part of the thoracic cavity. That's the most specific one. Again, this is also part of the thoracic cavity too, but the most specific cavity that um, that your heart is in is the pericardial, but this is also thoracic too. So you've got the trachea there. Now the next one is going to be, let's see, your large intestine, your larynx. So then let me go to that and let me do it real quick. So this is going to be your large intestine and your larynx. Larynx. Okay. So here I have too many words. I always do that. Larynx. Okay, there. Okay, so now we're gonna have your large intestine. Is gonna be in your and those are the functions which were not. So let's see. So I put function. I should have put system in here. So the large intestine is a continuation of the ileum extending from the junction. Most of it is in the abdominal cavity. Most of it is in with the last portion of it is within the pelvic category. So it depends on it depends on which part of it you're talking about. I'm going to share the Google Doc again. So here, where's my Google Doc? Wait a second. Let me see where I'm at with that. Where is it? Okay, there. Okay, so my large intestine, did he specify colon? I think he did. So the colon is going to be, um, yeah, okay. The large intestine being the colon is actually going to be um so I'm going to put mostly abdominal, but the last portion is part of the pelvic cavity. So it depends on the portion that you're talking about, which is why he probably said that. Um, so if I look at the large intestine is part of the digestive system. So, as you might expect, because that's where the majority of our food gets, this is the digestive system. The larynx, um, and again, I'm not sharing the screen. Let me put this over here and share the screen with you. I'm about halfway down this list. So the larynx is our next structure that's on this list. Put it up there. Um, so we have the larynx, and that's going to be I didn't spell this right. Hold on. Larynx and X system and cavity. Okay. So here we have um it's in okay, so they're calling it the larynx, but there's no specific, so that's gonna be it's part of the respiratory system, and you can see that in this picture here. You have, let me pull it up. You have the sinuses, the pharynx, the larynx, the trachea. Okay. So it's part of that same structure. It's the upper respiratory system. So it's part of the respiratory system. The lower respiratory tract consists of the trachea, the bronchial tubes, and the lungs. So it's part of the respiratory system. And it's in um I don't know. Let me see if it's in there. Let me see what it says in the other notes because I'm not seeing it here. Um, I'm not seeing if you got because it has its own cavity, but that's not it's not a main, and that might be uh why you had it wrong. Let me look for the let me look for something. Lungs, bronchial tree, cardiovascular, lymph duct, heart, arteries, capillaries. Um, Let me look at the cavities and see if I can find. Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be in the superior from where they're because the mediastinum contains the trachea. Um, so I'm not sure if he's looking um for that one. I'm not sure if he's looking for the um let me share the screen here and show you. This is gonna be the respiratory system, but I'm not sure if he's looking for the I'll put superior, but I'll put a question mark. I don't know, but it's part of the thor, thor, thoracic cavity. I'm not sure about that particular structure. And then here we have, let's see, the appendix, the thyroid gland. Hold on, let me. The appendix. The thyroid gland. Then the appendix, the thyroid, the urinary bladder. The spleen, the diaphragm. Okay, the spleen. The diaphragm. The kidney, the stomach, and the liver. The kidney, the stomach. Okay, hold on. I just want to write the rest of these so I can finish it. The stomach, and the liver, and we know that these, and I'll show you in a second. So there's the rest of those. Now, a lot of these are part of the abdominal. Let me show you. Let me move this up and let me show you this again. So let me go. Okay, let me stop sharing that. So here, if I show you this again, because this has the pictures of, not the pictures, but the names, I mean. So if you look at the abdominal pelvic cavity here at the bottom, it has the stomach, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the spleen, and the colon. So all of those are in the abdominal cavity. And then if you look at the systems up here, the digestive system has the stomach, the small intestine, the colon, the liver, and the pancreas. So, so if you look at these over here, then I can say that if I go back to this, then the stomach is part of the digestive system. and it's in the abdominal pelvic cavity. The liver, the same thing. But it has also functions. It has other functions as well as it has functions that it plays um, a role in a lot of systems. So I would say that um, it's part of the digestive system, but it plays a role in a lot of systems. Um, and it's in the abdominal cavity. Um, your kidneys are part of your urinary system. Um, Kidneys are part of your urinary system, and um, they're not in your abdominal cavity. So let me go here and let me put um so they're usually it's in the abdominal pelvic cavity. Technically, I guess it would be part of the abdomen. Um, but it's in the back. So this is the bladder, the rectum, and part of the uh, descending colon. So I guess it would be abdominal. I was thinking that it was pelvic, but this is abdominal still. Um, because it's uh you're now I don't know where your appendix is, so I have to look at that because I don't know where those are. But let me see. Um, Hold on. Let me just do these here. So I can finish this and we can go over it before I let you go. Um, okay. So if I say Oh, I guess it didn't do it. Why not? I don't know why, but let me see. Um, okay, let's see. Pelvic cavity, I don't know. Hold on, where is, let me find. So, yeah, so this is, it's in the middle of the neck and it's um, it would be part of the third, but I don't know. Okay, it's part of the endocrine system, but maybe that's it because it's located above your um okay, hold on. I don't know where that one is. I'm gonna say that this is gonna be this I do know. This is part of the endocrine system. This is part of the urinary system. This is the spleen. I believe the spleen is part of your digestive system. Spleen. Yeah, it's in your abdominal cavity. And it's oh, I was wrong. The spleen is part of your so yeah, this is part of your immune or your lymphatic system. This is lymphatic or immune system. And this is in your abdomen cavity. The diaphragm isn't um isn't in a cavity. It separates your um thoracic cavity from your abdominal cavity. So this is a muscle that separates the thoracic and abdominal cavities. Um, I just need to find the system that it's in. Um, this is part of your this is part of your pelvic cavity. This is I don't know exactly, but I think this is thoracic. The only one that I don't have is your appendix. Let me look it up because that one is not in the notes anywhere. Um, Let me see. So it's in the abdominal cavity and considered, okay, and it's also, let me follow this back. So this is, it's part of the digestive system. I don't really know what but it has, it's also part of the, let me look it up. Hold on. Because it could be one of those that has a double function. Let me look up what the appendix does. It's a small tubular. What does it do? Research has shown that the human appendix has lymphoid cells. This strongly suggests that the appendix plays a role in the immune system, but it's um okay. Let me see what it tells me. Because it could be both. Um, but from what I'm seeing here is the human appendix is usually located in the lower right. Okay, so um let's see. Gut associated lymphoid tissues, immune tissue surrounding the, yeah, it says it's part of the immune system, but it's also Um, Let me see, functions, maintaining gut. So that would make it, I'm not sure if it's part of the digestive system or the immune system, but I think it could be both. Let me see. Is the appendix part of the okay, it says immune here, so I'm gonna go with that. Um, I'm gonna say that your appendix is part of your, it's in the abdominal cavity, it's part of your lymphatic or your immune system. Um, but I'm gonna put a question mark because it could be other systems, and I'm gonna say that's in the abdominal cavity. So, um, let me put this on the screen for you so you can see it. I shared this with you already, okay? So you can go over it. But this is that second part of that lab where you are going over the cavities and the systems. So the heart is part of the cardiovascular system, and it has a chamber of its own. I mean, not a chamber, it has a cavity of its own. It has a space of its own called the pericardial cavity within the thoracic cavity. And it's the gallbladder is a digestive organ in the abdominal cavity. The aorta is part of the cardiovascular system that is partially in the upper. I think I didn't mean. Hold on. I don't think I meant to put the aorta in your abdominal cavity, but it extends down into it, and then the pancreas has dual functions. It's part of your digestive and your endocrine system. The lungs are your cardiovascular system. The small intestine is primarily your digestive system in your abdominal cavity. Your trachea, and again, I guess I could call this it's not technically or superior, I don't think, because it's too far down. Your large intestine, if he's talking about your colon is part of most likely the pelvic category, but ask him because I don't know which part it's talking about. Your larynx is part of your respiratory system. Your appendix, more recently, is part of your immune system. Your thyroid gland is an endocrine gland, and it's located in your neck, which would be the superior and the thoracic category. I'm not sure about that. Um, The urinary bladder is part of the urinary system, obviously, part of the pelvic cavity. The spleen is a lymphatic organ that's in your abdomen. Your diaphragm isn't really a cavity. It's a muscle that separates the thoracic and the abdominal cavities, and then the stomach and the liver obviously are in the abdominal cavity. Your kidneys are mostly in your abdominal cavity, and that's a urinary um, system. So that's what I came up with for that. Okay. You can go
Okay.
you can go over it with your classmates and see. But the parts where the question marks are the parts that I wasn't, because I'm not sure what he's where the superior cavity ends. But I mean, I could have said, like, for the front of these, I could have said like ventral or dorsal. I didn't go that far. I tried to make it the most specific cavity that I could. But as far as the functions, you have all the functions on the other lecture notes that I gave you yesterday. If you look at the Adobe PDF that I gave you, it gives you the basic functions of the system. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll see you, today's Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow again at 9 o'clock. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Daniela. Take care. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. You too.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.